Hi, and welcome to Principles in Politics, where I will discuss what's happening in Idaho politics, conservatism, as well as the Idaho State Constitution and U.S. Constitution. During the legislative session, I hope to produce several shows a week through live streaming and recorded videos, keeping it short, sweet, and to the point to help keep you informed. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm your host, Tony Ulrich. Tonight I want to take you through a couple of websites that I use when I'm researching my Idaho legislators. One of these groups is pretty controversial in the state of Idaho. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're a wonderful tool. I've talked about them in other shows. The Idaho Freedom Foundation. I guess I should turn on some of my graphics here. The Idaho Freedom Foundation, a great tool. You'll hear the establishment Republicans here in the state tell you that, they're biased and they've got their little pets, and really they're not. I mean, if you look on their website, they'll tell you exactly what they're about and how they do what they do and why they do what they do. We'll get into that when I get to their website. We're going to look at the ACU, the American Conservative Union. They also rate conservative legislators and U.S. congressmen. They've got metrics they use. It's pretty good. And then another great tool I like is Follow the Money. Follow the Money used to be really great in Idaho, so did the Secretary of State's website. But the Secretary of State's website, they spent way too much money for something that just doesn't work anymore, and it's really hard. I tried for my campaign to research my finances, and I had a hard time finding me and my information. So, and unfortunately, Follow the Money gets all their information from the state website, so it's not as good as it used to be. But we're going to jump over here to Google really quick, and we're going to go to the IFF website. For some reason, I'm not sure why my mouse isn't trailing on this, so it's www.idahofreedom.org, and it's a really great website. If you look up here at the top, they've got right next to their logo up there where it says the Freedom Index. If you click on that, come over here and click on it, and now my mouse is showing up over there. Well, that's good. You can look at the index. My internet's really slow here at the house, so it takes a little bit to load. I got to use my cellular data, and right now it's early in the season, so there's no rating, but you can pretty much look at. I don't do this on the computer very often, so it's a little tough for me. We'll roll it up here. They'll list each legislator. Kent, Dixon, Sage, Scott. It looks like right now they're listed by a district, but over here on the right you can look and see how you want to sort them. You can sort alphabetically. Mouse isn't showing up, and neither are the menu options. Well, apparently I'm having more technical difficulties, but over here on the right where my mouse is, you can sort by several different options. You can look up specific names. You can pick districts. Let me grab a district and see if it'll actually change my window. Yeah, so I just randomly grabbed one. So I actually picked one with at least one good conservative in there. Anyway, as you look underneath here where it says voting records, you can click on that once they've actually started making some votes and see how they voted on each bill. Then you can click on those bills. I mean, I could do it right now, but there should be nothing there. We'll click on Tammy's here and see what comes up. Yeah, there's nothing they've actually. Well, she was voted absent on a placeholder bill, so that really doesn't much matter. But you can look at each bill, and then underneath that bill, actually, I think maybe over here there might be, usually in one of these menus, at least on my phone, it might be way at the bottom. Yeah, it's there somewhere. You can see where it, you can look at current bills. Well, right here it says, you can rate their metrics. or see their rating matrix, and it'll explain to you, oops, I bumped it, how they rate each bill and the purpose for it, and each bill will go through it. So, I mean, the IFF, they don't hide anything. They tell you exactly what they're about. So, when you hear your legislators that are getting bad scores from the IFF complain about them and saying they're agenda driven, well, you're damn right they're agenda driven. They have an agenda, limited government. And if you're voting for bills that increase taxes or regulations, you're going to get a bad score. So if you think about it, a friend of mine in Twin Falls says that, when she was in school, she didn't like her teachers that were rating her bad or grading her bad then. So and jump back here, and I guess I can just close that one. Wow, this is really funny from the website to me. Yeah, I almost never do any of this from the website. I always use my phone. I got unlimited data on my phone, but when I use the website, my hotspot data is limited. And living in the middle of nowhere, I don't have any real high-speed data, but so they've also got a spending index here, and they'll rate each legislator on how they vote on spending bills. And again, well, this still looks like they're showing 2020, so I might be able to show you a little something here. So as you look here, you'll see how they've rated each. We'll take just Chad Christensen here, since he's the top one. He scored 100%, which means he pretty much voted against every spending bill, or every spending bill that was outside of government's authority. You can tell the top ones, and you can kind of scroll through here and see where your legislator is, and I'm grabbing the wrong scroll bar, and see how they rate. My legislators, one of them's my representative. She's up here in the top, Christy Zito. She's right here. She scored a 90. I can't see that from here. The monitor that this is on is a long ways away. It looks like a 93. My other representative, this is way down here at the bottom, but we knew she would be. I must have passed her up in my hurry to scroll. Anyway, yeah, she's never going to be. She's right here. Megan Blanksmith is my other representative at 26%. She'll always vote for more spending and bigger government. She'll always vote for taxes, and yet she repeatedly says that she supports the Republican Party platform, which goes exactly the opposite of it. So in the spending index, when you look up here at the top, there's oh, my mouse is being a pain tonight. I don't know where I just went. Oh, I went back to the Freedom Index. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, the top about 11, 12 of the people in here are on the spending index are what I would actually classify as conservatives. The rest of them are, rhinos is the best way of putting it, or the politest anyway. I mean, they're liberals or progressives and masquerading as Republicans. It's really kind of sad because in 2020 we actually had Democrats that were outscoring many Republican representatives in the Freedom Index and the Spending Index. I mean, Chu, she's probably one of the most liberal representatives we have in the state. She outscored several of the Republicans. It's really scary. So when I look at the Freedom Index, if I see a representative that has anything under an 80, there's no way they can possibly claim in any way, shape, or form to be conservative. The great thing about this tool is when you can go look at their voting records and see how they voted on each bill, you can at the same time look at how and why the IFF rated the bill the way they did, and you can decide for yourself if it was fairly rated. You can adjust the score, but it's it's a really handy tool, and that's what you have to remember, is it's just a tool. You still have to make your own decisions and choices. If you base everything just on the IFF, you know, well, I mean, you can. I mean, they're pretty honest about it, but, you know, I don't always agree with Wayne and Dustin and the guys. I mean, I consider them all friends. I'm not affiliated with the organization in any way, shape, or form, but it's a tool that I really enjoy, and it makes my life in researching much, much easier. The next website I want to talk about is the American Conservative Union. And in the American Conservative Union, things are a little different. Both the IFF and the ACU have changed their website in the last year or two, so even on the phone, things are a little hard for me to find sometimes because they're changing and improving. But if you go up here to the little menu bar, I don't know why that's not showing on my screen, there's way down here under advocacies, no, it's under the foundation, I'm sorry. Under the ACU Foundation, they've got state and federal, I didn't catch what that was. I just know where that one is. You can go in here and look. I wonder why these are funny on my screen. Anyway, you can come up here and click on your state. And man, is my internet really being slow tonight. I don't know why it's not loading. Because it wants to be difficult. Either that or my mouse just isn't working, which I've had problems with here lately. I got to go get a new mouse this week. Anyway, you can also select the year, but they rate a certain amount of bills, and, you know, at least with the IFF, your legislators can look at how the IFF rates their bills. And look, with the ACU, you don't know until the end of the year what bills they rated and how they rated them, or how. So it's more of a guessing game. And the funny thing is a lot of Idaho legislators are rated much harsher, much harsher than the ACU rates them. And you know, it's really funny because, you know, you never hear these legislators that are holding office complain about how the ACU rated them, but the ACU pretty much, any current office holder that's a Republican will get an endorsement from the ACU. If they're currently in office and have any kind of a voting record whatsoever, they've got, I'm trying to look and see if I can see where their endorsements are. I'm not seeing their endorsement list. They changed something here recently. It used to be right up here in this menu. But the ACU, you know, they've got an about page. Everything here tells you everything about them, so it's another handy tool. You can look and see. I mean, they kind of play favorites with incumbents. You know, they won't even talk to a challenger. Well, I shouldn't say that. They will talk to a challenger if they are endorsed by the state party or state leadership. We had a gentleman run in our district this year who has no voting record whatsoever other than at a city level. And, you know, the NRA rated him, the ACU rated him, and several of these rated them, but yet, you know, a third party member can't get a rating from any one of them whatsoever. The Democrats couldn't get a rating. Challengers, most challengers, even if they're in the Republican Party, couldn't get a rating from them. So the next great one I like to use is Follow the Money. But the problem with Follow the Money is it's going to load really slow on my page, and there's lots and lots of information on Follow the Money. I mean, they've got charts, graphs, everything. It's kind of like Ballotpedia in a way. If you ever go look at Ballotpedia will tell you a whole bunch about your voting records. But, you know, with Follow the Money, you should be able to actually track out what your legislators have gotten over the years, and you can break it down into each year. So I'm looking for states and state house. Where's state house? Right there. Let's go look at the state house. Except for I think I just clicked U.S. House. Yeah, my internet's really way too slow for doing this for you guys. And this really isn't going to load. Wow. We're going to go back over here. State Senate, State Supreme Court, U.S. House, U.S. Senate. Where's the State House? State House and Assemblies. There we go. Because I want to show you something here that I find very interesting all the time. If it's ever going to load. There we go. So... here's a list of all... wow, that clicked way down there quick. All of our state house members and candidates that have ever ran, and most of the current ones. But what I'd really like you to note is if you look... well, I'm going to go find one of my representatives because I know... how long she's been in office for sure. So we're going to go over here and look at Megan Blanksmith. You know, I've spent a lot of time researching my legislature, and I've actually ran 2 years against Megan Blanksmith, and I never really picked on her because, you know, I just didn't feel it was proper in politics since I was running against her. But, and this isn't all showing on the screen, but over here to the right a little bit, here, let me resize this and see if I can get, I don't know why it's not all fitting in there. I'm gonna unlock this. Sorry, it's gonna take me a minute, guys. I thought I was ready for this, but apparently I'm not. We're gonna move this over a little bit. It's not gonna let me move it, I don't think. Yeah, it's just going to resize it. It's not all going to fit in there. So let's see if I go do this. If it'll... nope, that didn't make it any better. We're going to resize the window, though. I'm going to have to figure out why this... I didn't realize it wasn't all going to fit in the screen right. So you won't be able to see everything. Because you're missing a whole bunch to the right here. There's... let's see, what's the last one that's showing on my screen is... the elections. Yeah, there's 3 more options to the right of the election type when you're looking at this. So, but you know, this shows basically that for 3 elections, this representative has raised, why isn't it showing over here for me either? Get my window back full screen. Has raised a little under $100,000, which may not seem like a lot, but you know, when you're going for a job that pays $18,000 a year, why do you need to spend that much money? Well, I can tell you why a lot. She doesn't spend that much. They use her because, you know, they never considered me a threat, so she's basically unchallenged. She hasn't had a primary. They send money to her, and then she turns around and sends it to whoever they tell her to. It's, you know, that whole, you know, transparency in government and campaign finance stuff. You know, they found a workaround on it. So they'll give money to, you know, candidates that aren't challenged or in races they know they don't have to worry about. But, you know, for the, let's see, what year is this? This is for her 2016 race. She ran against a man in 2016 who he was in office 12 years, spent a total of $5,000 every year on his campaign. So she raised $47,000 to beat him and then smeared him up pretty good. She's, you know, not a nice person, self-serving. 2018, I was the challenger on her. She raised another $24,000. I think I spent $3,000, a little over $3,000. And I didn't raise any money. I spent my own. And then in 2020, the 2020 race, it appears she did another $54,500. So, but, she had a Democratic challenger who did zero campaigning, and she had me, so, they used it to bounce money. But, I mean, there's charts, all sorts of stuff in here. This is a great tool. You can go and research. You used to be able to click on, let's go look and see if we can still do that. Click on this campaign. It's not really, yeah, so she's actually, in 3 races, she's raised $126,200. Let's see, 18, for, yeah, so she's raised double what she's made. And when you actually look at it, I'm trying to look and see, I don't remember where, going this way. You used to be able to just click on her name and it would show you a list of her donors, but it seems to be keep taking me back. Yeah, it just keeps taking me back to this page. Let's see, Party General, Republican, Standard, House Sought, Incumbent. 118 records, but it's not going to let me click on that. Let's see, as an office holder, as a contributor, there's someplace here we can actually see who her contributors are, and when you actually look at that list of contributors, that's what she's given as an office holder. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing up. I don't remember which one of these tabs you go to see where her donors are. But when you start looking at how she's voting for bills and the things she's doing in office, it really starts to make sense that she's not working for the people. And it's not just her. I'm going to pick on her just because I know this and I know her. If you look, her top donors come from the medical industry. Yeah, it's not going to give me. Anyway, it comes from medical industry and agriculture. Well, we're in an agricultural area, so I kind of understand the ag. Her insurance and real estate money, I kind of understand that a little bit. But, when she starts supporting things and going along the medical line, I got to say, I got to give her a little credit. This year she voted against some mask mandates, which, I personally believe the only reason she did that was because she knew that, or she thought that there were enough others that would pass them that she could get away with a no vote. So anyway, I'm going to end this. I just wanted to show you these tools. I'll go over these again as we get farther in and there's some actual votes. We'll go look and see how some of the people have voted, and I can walk you through it. But remember, these are all just tools, and you're going to hear bad things about the Idaho Freedom Foundation. Like I said, these people that are talking bad about it are upset because they're getting bad ratings. And the reason they're getting bad ratings is because they're voting poorly. They're voting against the people. It has nothing to do with the IFF other than the IFF is exposing them. So, take heart, use these tools, and, be wise with them. I mean, they're great tools. I know I've got some friends in Oregon that would be interested in how to research their elected officials, and I've got some people looking into it. I believe there's a group, I haven't found it yet, that is similar to the IFF in Oregon that does kind of the same rating matrix, but in Oregon they're a little bit worse than the Idaho legislators, but not much. So anyway, have a great night. If you like the show, remember to hit that like and subscribe button so you can be informed of new content as I produce it.